Cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers. Welcome to Sportsbook Review. This is Betting with the Bag on September 19th. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Shout out to the Cappers in the chat. Vinny Cornell showing great hustle here. First in chat, Patrick Slay, number 2. Pigeon Depot says, I'm so torn on Titans-Jazz. You know, my Jaguars team total, 19.5. I got 19.5. Now at 18.5. That makes me feel good. And I want to bet the Titans so badly. So badly. And maybe I still do. I want to bet them so badly. Take a road team on a Thursday night. Go up against Minshew. But there's a lot of sharp dudes. A lot of sharp cappers on the Jags. And that's keeping me off. We have a great show today in 27 minutes. Going to be joined in the studio by Flash. Flash will be joining us live in the studio. And then we have Anna Merrick breaking down UFC. And we have a play of the day video from Muhammad Joma, he's undefeated in his play of the day videos. Lanil Land in the house. Shout out to AM. Ron Lofton said just bet one game today. Brewers run line pushed with Diamondbacks game under yesterday. Yeah, Ron Lofton, nice job pushing on the full game under because I got destroyed on the first 5 under. There's Trevor Loudon in the house. Love seeing that. Cassius Thomas said, anyone like Houston +5? I tell you what, I'd say it's like almost 8. I would say 80% of the cappers like Tulane. I'd say 20% are on Houston at this point that we deal with in the low bag family. Michael S. in the house. Eric Nisbet said, I laid the 5 with Tulane. There you go. See? Love it. Dre Machi in the house. Ron Lofton says Titans -1.5 confidently. That's what I'd like to do. There's Nasty Nate ready to work. Trevor Loudon says no work tomorrow. About to crack open the vodka. That sounds very nice to me. Jay Peach said, I think the Jags put up 26. That scares me. My guy Shears Talat in the house. Like in Tulane, -5 says, trust your boy. Israel Quant in the house says, I'm going to have to tease Thursday night. Under 32 Jags +7.5. Probably over 32, right? You wouldn't tease the under down that low. Russell Gordon says, take Jags, Jimmy. Number hasn't moved. It hasn't. It's tough, Russell. I'm having a tough time with it. Super Cisco, Big Ragu, Gio Mercedes. What a great, great group in the house. Deer Slayer Ski. Trevor Loudon says, I'm also not a college football guy, so please don't make that decision based on my elementary analysis. There's David Hutton on Jacksonville tonight. Yeah, maybe I'd just stay off. Russell Gordon says, number hasn't moved, taking Jags money line. Something happened with Green Bay. Same thing happened with Green Bay a few weeks ago and they won. Now, Sean says, my apologies, guys. I should have known better and broke my own capping rules on that Giants game, even though we had a chance to win with 2 outs and 1 strike. Back to work now. Let's get it. No worries, Nutflush Allen. You put a ton of cash in our pockets with Giants games, and I actually stayed off of it. I actually stayed off of it. Top Set said, Jimmy, I'm not buying it. I believe Titans will rock. First half full game. It's my 2-unit play in pick 6. So do I. I feel the same way. There's flip money. There's Normal. There's Titans money line is a no-brainer. It's tough. There's Yu Chang Yu. Jackson money line in the over. Eric Jones in the house, EJV, ready to get to work. Okay, let's do it. So I only made one play in the early slate as well, and that's the Brewers. I'm with Ron Lofton here. I took the Brewers on the -1 line. Got off to an okay start, up 2-0, now 2-1. So moving into the bottom of the 4th inning, at least we're ahead. Michael S. says, I can't see the Titans going 1-2. Well, let's... look, Super Cisco, Houston Cougars, money line excited. Love that, Super Cisco. And my guy, Super Cisco, our guy, destroying the pick 6 contest right now. He's in the top 15. I forget where he is exactly. Eric Jones says, Jags win 2019. Well, I would come in here losing my shit if that happens. I'm not liking that. All right, let's get to J. Peach, 26-13 Jags. Wow, Peach. God. So let's save NFL football for when Flash gets here. He gets here in 24 minutes. He's going to drop his plays. He's doing well. His official plays on the show right now, 6-5 plus 0.4 units. Let's break down these last few games on the MLB card. But what's imperative to me is we also talk WNBA, and I want that all done in 24 minutes. Bigger Goose says, tough football card tonight, but we will eat. I'm on the over 55.5 in the college football game, and I'm comfortable with that spot. Let's see where it's at right now. If it keeps going up, has it kept going up? Spreads and totals. Here we go. Full game spreads and totals. Yeah, it's up to 58. That makes me feel good. This total in Jacksonville keeps dropping, though. It's down to 38. Wow. Bookmakers at -2, 5 dimes -2. Bovada, you wager. The rest of the books at -1.5 on Tennessee. Lanil Land says Jags under 39. Said it Monday. I love seeing that. Norm L says Titans are 4-0 last 4 versus the Jags. And Russell Gordy says nothing like Vegas during NBA, NFL, NHL, college football party every week. Man, Russell Gordy, I'm going to end up in my life, no matter what, and I don't think it'll be too long from now, being beside you most of the time. I'm being right there in Vegas with you. I plan on that. I need that desperately to be down there. There's May 910 says, what's up, Jimmy from Anchorage, Alaska. Love seeing that. Shout out to our guy, May 910 in the house. Love it. Big Roo says, you lean over, you like Houston, plain and simple. I'm not going to double up on this college game. I only have $100 on the game. It's just more of a recreational bet, really. Eric Nizzo says Titans late and play. Okay, let's get to work right now. Look at that. Topset says I gave BC over 27 first half. It's at 29 now. Great job, Topset. That's got to feel good for a first half total to move that drastically. Great job. Okay, we have Angels, Yankees, Heaney, Tanaka. Remember, this game starts shortly. This game is going to pop off in less than an hour, in 57 minutes. Total's been at 9 all day, has not moved, but there's been a big move towards the Angels. Tanaka opening up at -264, now at -219. So a giant move there. Let's take a look at these rosters. Let's take a look at these lineups here at RotoWire. Let's see what we're dealing with. Here we go. For the Yankees, we got LeMahieu, Stanton, Voit, Gregorius, Urshela, Maben, Gardner, Frazier, Romine. So, a big bat and Judge not in the lineup. Maybe that's part of the reason for the market move. For the Angels, Goodwin, Fletcher, Calhoun, Pujols, Walsh, Simmons, Smith, Theis, and Hermosillo. This is a spot I don't want anything to do with it. Fortunate Tommy says, Jimmy, sometimes you overthink yourself. Titans -1.5. I'm very close to doing it. Going up against guys like Jay Peach and Russell Gordy, it's just not a very comfortable spot for me. There's Muhammad Joma. He's got to play today on today's show. Shadows on Texas, Tennessee, Jacksonville over 38, Tulane -4, Utah -3, and the over 176. We've had a nice move there, haven't we, Shadow? It was up to 178 a little while ago. Trevor Loudon said, Jimmy, can you amp this? Are there any San Diego lowbaggers out there? I'm planning on proposing there end of November. Yes, we have one of our most beloved lowbaggers is there in Paco Healy. Paco Healy, Trevor. Paco Healy could not only give you the perfect spots to do that, but also hang out with Paco Healy. Yes. Follow him on Twitter. I follow him on Twitter. Paco Healy is our guy in San Diego. So, yeah, Trevor. And Trevor, great guy. Paco, great guy. You guys got to connect, man. I absolutely love that. Homer, Milwaukee. Okay. And Stelio says, should be Titans -3.5. Okay, let's work on this baseball card. We have 21 minutes. I don't need to rush, but I do want to get into the 2 WNBA games before we move over. Atlas Party says, Angels team total over 3.5. Lock it in, Jimmy. I like that look. Let's see what we get right now on this team total over. Oh, that's football. I'm going to go to Heritage. It's an easy book. Has a nice layout for me to find out what I like in MLB. Let's go. Team total over for the Angels, 3.5 -105. And we've heard Domingo Herman now in the domestic violence zone, whatever we call that. Keith Sadler also liking the over. That makes me feel good. Von Burgess, Homer Brewers. I like that. Trevor Loudon, Paco Healy, Trevor Loudon. It's absolutely perfect spot. I like where you're at, Atlas Party, but I don't think I want to make a move on it. I guess it's that simple. I don't want to make a move on this situation where the Yankees don't care and the Angels are shit. And what's Tanaka going to do? Is he going to start stepping up as we move towards the playoffs? Angels have won 15 of their last 49 games. Tanaka has a 6 ERA in his past 3 starts. You're right. That is a good look. 3.5. Tanaka 3-1 and 2.38 ERA in 7 career starts against the Angels. But he got destroyed by them April 25th. That 3.5 is juicy. I think you're right, Atlas Party. Heaney's getting touched too. This over is only at 9. Let's see what the weather is. I think it might be time to make a move here. Let's see what the weather is here. It's 3 miles per hour in. Let's see if RotoWire confirms that. They have 4 miles per hour right to left. That 9 seems low. Steve Priest says, is Giancarlo in the lineup? I just read it out, and he's batting second and DHing. That's a low line. Heaney's looked so bad. I mean, if the Angels go over 3.5, we hit that over. So why not get both teams involved in the over? Russell Gordy says, Yanks ready to close this out. They do. They still need to close out the division. That boy, cold. That boy cold says, don't Yankees need to win the clinch? They do, or it's a 1. So, Twatty Latte says, stories coming out about Vasquez are absolutely disgusting. Yeah, it's awful. I like this over. I think this over should be a look. Kevin Tantino says, read those 9 names starting for the Angels before you bet the team total over. Don't trust that bottom 5. It's not worth it. I think that this over is going to be in play. Keith Sadler on it. It's just a nice little 9er. Weather's nice enough there. Both pitchers have not looked good lately. There's been a 3 cent move towards the over in the last 20 minutes. Over 9. Why don't they get there? I'm coming in on the over 9 right now. Over 9, my first edition on this late card. Over 9. Angels, Yankees, over 9, and I'm getting minus 105. That's available at Pinnacle. Over 9 and minus 105. Lock it in. Okay, good. I'm on the board. All right, I like it. Not Flush on says, wait, did you bet on the Baltimore Orioles yesterday, Jimmy? That means you have to donate $100 to charity. Did I say yes to that deal? Shit. Trevor Loudon says, what do you think of the Domingo Herman situation? All I know is that he's in the domestic violence protocol or whatever that is. God, what's happened to our sport, man? What's wrong with these guys? So I don't know, Trevor, what exactly. I haven't read the exact situation right now, and what a mess. What a mess. Oh, man, the Henderson Hustler needs the under 5 in the Brewers game. First 5 to cash that 800. 800 is a big boy bet, man. All right, let's get this for you. All right, Moustakas struck out. Let's get this for you. Let's get through this 5th inning. I'm fine up 3-1 after 5. Cassius Thomas says, can the Aces slow the game down? This is their 3rd game in 4 nights. I'm surprised the amount of people who are backing the Aces at plus 10. The Russell Gordon says Aces are tired. Yeah, I'm shocked at it. Okay, let's go. We have 17 minutes before we're joined by Flash. Next up, Jays Orioles. And there's my guy, Nutflush Allen, keeping me off the Orioles again. What a mess. What an absolute mess that happened to me last night. Nutflush, how did they allow... It was 9-5 going into the bottom of the 9th. Or top of the 9th. What a mess. What a garbage. Metri 96, Jimmy, what's your play with the under? It's simple. Jaguars team total under 19.5. It's now moved down to 18.5, but it's Jaguars team total under. That's my action now. And so surprisingly, I think this is such a good look, but a lot of the guys in the chat are on the over. So, but I like it. I like it a lot. Under 19.5. It's gone down a point in my book. Very comfortable with it. And I'm thinking of making a move on the Titans still. Okay, so let's make... Kyle Borat says Jays win. Wilmer Font, he's looked good in Toronto. He had a bit of a hiccup about 4 or 5 weeks ago. He's back rolling again. Gabriel Noah's been terrible. I can understand you guys backing the Jays. We also did say, now Flush, we said we were going to take team total overs against the Jays because now they're in this spot where every game is an opener spot, and this lineup is not good. Orioles 4.5 at minus 125. The over 4.5 at minus 125. That has to be appealing. See, Russell Gordon says Orioles going to touch Font. And Ron Crawford on the Sparks Plus 2. You know what? Let's do it. Nutflush, we talked about it. We talked about saying take team total overs against the Jays while they're in this opening run. It's got to hit over 55. It's got to hit over 60%, I believe, through the end of the season. And Nutflush said we went through this exact same thing last year. Baltimore burning money. I'm going to take the team total over for the Orioles. Team total over 4.5. I don't see how this Jays bullpen is going to be good here. Over 4.5 at minus 125. Team total over 4.5 minus 125. I'm on it. All right. So I've just added a couple overs. Okay, let's keep rolling along right now. It never goes deep in games too. Those of you on the Jays, I get it. Taylor Ice has just popped in. People feeling the under 38. I prefer the Jaguars team total under, personally. Farshed Asami says, do we care about Jays Orioles game? Well, I'm going to put some money on it, but not much. All right, let's move on. Tigers, Indians, Daniel Norris, Mike Clevenger. We've had this huge market move here, enormous market move towards the Indians. Open at minus 315, now at minus 407, and the totals dropped a full run down to 8. Clevenger's being good. Norris has been good now that he's only playing 3 innings. Dale Nichols Jr. says Thursday night football. Yeah, we're going to be talking about it. We have Flash coming in 14 minutes. So just want to get through the baseball card in WNBA in the next 14 minutes so that we're able to do that. National says Jays is playing. I'm going to take team total overs against the Jays moving forward. Nutflushan says yes, team total over, not on Baltimore. Okay, good. Michael S. says 38 so low for an NFL game, but Thursday night football snooze fest. Yeah. Steve Priest on the over. I get being on the over. I'm just going to focus on the Orioles over. That's all I'm going to focus on. All right, Tigers, Indians. I'm staying off of it. Indians have beaten this team 16 straight times. What a mess. Then we have Cardinals, Cubs, and Royals, Twinkies, and then we'll talk WNBA. So we're in good shape here. If you were going to make a move on this total, God, what a mess. I mean, I guess Daniel Norris has looked good since they limited his innings. I'm going to stay off of it. Russell Gordon says Orioles the only dog left tonight. God, they broke my heart last night, Russell. Let's talk Cards, Cubs. This total opened at 7. It's now at 7.5. Let's see what that first half total's gone down. Has that jumped up to 4? Because it went down to 3.5. A 4 at Pinnacle and a 4 at Intertops. So that's moved back up. So that was 3.5s across the board by when we did the morning show. And now that's back up to 4. Those are good starters. That 4 is pretty interesting. This full game total has gone up. The full game total opened at 7, was at 7, and now it's 7.5 across the board. Let's take a look at these lineups. Flaherty, Hendricks, and Verhagen, however you pronounce it, is coming in after Daniel Norris. And then we have talk about how bad Gibson's been from CT Base, so we're going to talk about that as well. Ron says remaining spreadsheet plays Cubs and Yankees. And Eric Nisbet says Cubs, let's get it. I'm uncomfortable going against Flaherty and even trusting the Cubs at all. Let's see what kind of lineup they're throwing out there for these Cubbies right now. For these Cubbies, we have Zobrist, Castellanos, Bryant, Schwarber, Contreras, Caratini, Hayward, Horner. Same lineup as yesterday. For the Cards, we have Fowler, Wong, Goldschmidt, Ozuna, DeYoung, Molina, Edman, and Bader. Sean Glass says Cubs' big bats are out. Yeah, no Baez, no Rizzo, and Bryant's got to step up right now. Russell Gordy, under first 5 Cubs is plus money. At 3.5, I don't want it at 3.5. Would you prefer it getting the plus money? I respect that. I would like to have the draw. I'd like to get the push at 4, and I don't mind paying for that. I'm going to make a move here. I think both pitchers pitch well. Let's get another look at the weather here. 79 Fahrenheit, 6 miles per hour right to left. Let's compare that to what I had from the morning show. I have 7 miles per hour sideways in. All right, John Garcia on the Cards. And, Top Set saying if you're going to take the Jags, say you're fading Mariota. I get that a lot. Alec Holligan on Jags moneyline, man, that's shady. Kevin Tantillo says take the Cards, Jimmy, only bet worth it on the board. Yu-Cheng, you said you're putting money on Mariota, might as well stick your dick in a cheese grater, says Yu-Cheng. I'd rather back Mariota than cheese grate my dick, but I hear what you're saying. Farsha Asami says Cubs need to win the series, catch up with Cards, Cubs money line. Flaherty's going to have a nice start. So it's Hendricks has to be lights out. If that's the case, then my first 5 under 4 hits. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to take this first 5 under 4. Let's make sure that my book, I don't want to not bet it. So here we go. First 5. My book better be hanging the 4 too. And I don't know what they're hanging here. It doesn't say. So let me take a quick look here at what my book is doing. Because if my book's still at 3.5, I don't know if I need to bother putting out a play that I'm not going to actually bet. Because I want it at 4. Let's see, 5 innings. Let's see what we're getting here. The first 5 total is at 3.5 at plus 105 at my book. We'll see if that moves to 4. I want it at 4. And I'm going to take it here at 4. At 4 at minus 120, that's available at Pinnacle. Intertops is at minus 125. I'm going to take this first 5 under 4, minus 120. Yeah, Mohammed Joma says 3.5, bet 3.5, can't play that. The 4s, Russell Gordy, there's 2 books hanging the 4s. The books that are hanging the 4s are at Pinnacle. That's 4 at minus 120. And Intertops, 4 at minus 125. Pinnacle and Intertops. There's Nick the Slick in the house. Keith Sadler on the Cubbies. Atlas Party on Fournette to rush over 70.5 yards. And, okay, so then we only have 1 game left, and then we'll talk WNBA and then move into football, which is what I want to be talking about. You know what? So if we get through this before 4 o'clock, before Flash is on at 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock here in San Jose, Costa Rica, 6 o'clock Eastern. If we get them on, then we'll talk a little bit about that Tulane-Houston game. We've been talking about it nonstop. Omar J. Legend in the house saying, Blue Jays, Jimmy, I'm just going to focus on the Orioles team totals, and I'm going to take them for the rest of the year. I'm going to go team totals against the Jays for the rest of the year. Montgomery Gibson. Is this a spot that we take the Royals? They did have to travel from Oakland yesterday into Minnesota. Montgomery. First off, do you also want to take a lefty against his Twins team that rakes lefties? They're hitting 286, 872 OPS versus lefties. Let's see if we have lineups here. And we do. For the Twinkies, Garver, Polanco, Cruz, Rosario, Sano, Gonzalez, Reyes, and Scope. And then Lemaire in center field. Not their strongest lineup. For the Royals, Merrifield, Mondesi, Soler, Dozier, Gordon, McBroom, Maya, Veloria, and Lopez. Not their strongest lineup either. Oh, man. Ugly, ugly stuff. Cassius Thomas says, what does Ski like tonight? Ski. I have Ski's action here from earlier. Ski's on the Sun, -1, and the over in the Aces game. And I jumped on that as well. Come on, Lyles. Get us out of this inning. Stelios liking Jags 23-20. Oh, man, that scares me. Okay, so in Atlas Party, liking Mystics to cover tonight, like the Suns again. Sun again. I like Mystic to cover tonight too. It's such a big spread. I don't know if I want to bother with it at this point. Okay, let's talk about this spot. Full game money lines and totals here at sportsbookreview.com, SPR odds page. Twinkies opened up at -253. They're now at -233. 20-cent move towards the Royals. Total opened up at 10.5, and it's now at 10. Topset says, I have a tip that the Aces get crushed, Maytail. I think so, too. I think they're going to get crushed. I think they're exhausted. I think they want to go back to Vegas and put up a fight then. And Triple K Marine in the house going with Houston. -5.5 at +280. Whoa, that's wild, Triple K. That's wild. Alice Party on the full game over. That's what I'm on as well. And Don Corleone says, Jimmy, first 5 maybe it looked like Gordy said. He wasn't talking about this game, did he? Steve Priest on Twins run line. Because I did jump on that. Steve Priest on KC, Minnesota over 10. Sean Glass on Twins first 5 run line. All right, so let's take a look here at this spot. Dale Nichols says, Houston-Tulane thoughts. We've gone through it all week long, Dale Nichols, and I ended up jumping on the over 55.5 once it went down there. Now at 58 across the board. Opened at 60. So it's just a spot where I just thought there was value at that number. We've talked a lot about how good Tulane is this year and whether King is hurt. And if King's hurt, is Houston going to be able to put up points against Tulane? I think it comes down to that. Do you trust that King is healthy? And do you think that the Cougars are capable of putting up points against Tulane? Because we think Tulane will be able to put up points. So that's the spot right there. Okay, so Laniel Lance and 10, Lay of the Sugar, got to play over in the Suns too. Fat Fist on Titans -1.5. I want to make that move. And yeah, nice work. Fat Fist is on the same team total I'm on. I like that. So let's talk about this spot here quickly. If we want to make a move on this final game on the card, Montgomery, Gibson, Royals, Twins, 82 Fahrenheit clear, 4 miles per hour in. Royals 27-50 on the road, Twins 43-34 at home. Royals hitting 246, 712 OPS versus righties. They have no power versus righties. Minnesota still holds that 4-game lead in the American League Central. Kansas City's lost 5 of their past 6, but they've been playing pretty good baseball. And Dale Nichols, we'll talk more. And Russell Gordon says Tulane rolls. There we go. Farshad Sami on Titans -1.5. I still want to make that move, Farshad. I want to jump with you. Montgomery, 1-5, 7.85 ERA and 17 road starts. Do we want to back him here? He's got no okay numbers against Minnesota. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Headshot says, why not take Tulane over 30.5? I just love that getting that number at 55.5, so I'm going to stick with that. I don't want anything to do with this Twins-Royals game. I don't mean to bore you guys, but I just don't want to make a move on it. So I did add 3 plays. I had the first 5 under 4, -120 in Cardinals-Cubs. I added the Orioles team total over 4.5, -125. And I added the over 9 Angels-Yankees. Nutflush Allen says, Trevor, hit me up if you need help with a spot. I know that area really well. I have a bunch of people that will know spots. Oh, do that. Trevor. Connect with our guy, Nutflush Allen. I love that. And, okay. And look at Muhammad Joma, Houston moneyline, and the over. So we have this WNBA spots. Let's talk about that, and then we're going to pop in our guy, Muhammad Joma, undefeated with his play of the days. We're going to drop his video here in a second, and it's college football. So, God, don't like Dale Lyles being on that over. Sparks, son, this is a battle. I expect the Sparks to step up. The Alyssa Thomas and Jasmine Thomas were very, very good in game 1. This is just too tight for me to find a legitimate edge. Do I want to back a full Sparks squad now that's 7-10 on the road? I'm hesitant to make that move. So at this point, I'm staying off Sparks, son. We've seen this total move from 161.5 to 162.5. 163.5 a bookmaker. That's interesting. I was on the over in the first game, lost that by a couple points. And then Aces, Mystics. I feel like the Mystics smash here. I feel like the Aces have to be exhausted, but that's just a huge spread. Steve Priest on Mystics -10. It does feel like a spot where the Mystics are going to smash, doesn't it? It just does. It just does to me. It feels like a spot where the Mystics smash. I don't see how Vegas can keep rolling at this point. I've already jumped on the over in this game. I got over 176 at -105. I beat that line move. And I think it's time to jump in on the Mystics. They had second game in 11 days. Over 10 at -105. I'm getting in. I'm jumping in. I'm jumping in on the Mystics. Headshot on Mystics first half. I don't dislike that at all. But I do feel like I'd rather have, because if the Aces play well anytime, it's going to be first half. Because, you know, when you're tired, those heavy legs affect you late. I'm going to be Mystics -10. I know this is a big spread, but I'm taking it. Mystics -10. There's another addition on my card. There we go. So I'm already on the over in Houston-Tulane, over 55.5. Now we have a Play of the Day video from our Muhammad Joma, undefeated on these Play of the Day videos. Rafa, can you hit us with our Muhammad Joma Play of the Day video one time?
Yes, I'm going to Wisconsin, Michigan on Fox Saturday morning. Look, Michigan is a lot of what's wrong with society. They see a brand, they see name recognition, they see something that's supposed to be good, and they want it to be good. They make every effort for it to be good. They keep telling themselves that it's good. Michigan is not a good program. I don't know what has to happen for people to realize that. Some very smart people, all they ever talk about, it's the same refrains, guys. Oh, Michigan, great athletes. Michigan, incredible recruits. Michigan, oh, they have all the measurables, talent across the board. When has that ever translated to anything over the last number of years? Listen to this stat. Michigan's 0-13 ATS and straight up as a dog, 1-18 ATS straight up and as a dog in their last 19. The market continually overprices them, and when they're supposed to lose, they lose. When they step up in competition, they lose. Even just last year, they get bombed in Ohio State 62-39 in a game that was embarrassing. Their whole defense looked like they had pianos on their backs. Florida last year in the bowl, and Notre Dame 21-3 late in the first half. It ends 21-14, and Notre Dame is sort of cut out of the same cloth as Michigan. Overrated. Now, Wisconsin holds some advantages here as well on the field. Most importantly, on the sideline, their coaching staff is one of the better ones in the country. I'm a big believer in Paul Chris. This team's continually flying under the radar. I think he likes it that way. They're always well prepared. And then the guy I really like is Jim Leonard, the DC. This guy, he brings some swag to this team, some quiet confidence. And that defense, year in and year out, is they had an off year last year, but they look to be. I think they're back this year. Time will tell. Their schedule hasn't been very strong, but like, who has Michigan played? Michigan played Army. That was their best game on their schedule. They played Middle Tennessee and Army, both at home. Army is a good team, but they're one-dimensional. Michigan should have been able to handle that with their superior athletes, but no, they didn't. They barely squeaked out a win there. And then the last thing with Wisconsin is that they have a strong O-line, which is going to negate one of Michigan's strengths, which is their front seven. So I like that matchup in the trenches. And a guy that also quite underrated on the outside for Wisconsin, A.J. Taylor. The guy's really slick, gets in and out of his routes really well. And I think he's going to make a couple plays for them. They also don't have the anchor. They're not anchored down no longer. Wisconsin, that is, by Hornibrook. That guy was throwing ducks 15 yards down the field, turning the ball over at the worst times. Jack Cohn's nothing special, but he can make some plays, and he'll keep the running lanes open for Jonathan Taylor to really bust a couple.
There is our guy, Muhammad Joma, and I had to cut that video again for Muhammad. So there was some other great stuff, but I had to cut. Look who we have here.
6-0 this week. It won't be, will it? It'll be 5-1 because I'll find a way to get beat. 1 bad beat last week and 2 I just got wrong.
My guy Flash in the house, looking sharp.
I'm enjoying it. New hat.
Yeah.
Same chair.
Same chair.
And I've had Freddie the Frog cleaning me shoes.
Have you had
He's
Freddy?
not happy. He's not happy because I made him bend.
Freddie the Frog is not. He is not pleased with your relationship.
No, it's all one way, and he's on the bottom.
yes. Russell Gordon said, Jimmy, don't have Michigan haters on the show. It sounds personal. Russell Gordon says, go blue. And Farsha Simon says, who's Wisconsin played so far? Nobody. I can't wait to talk about that game. But let's talk NFL now that we have Flash in the house. First off, Flash has been strong so far. It's difficult the first 2 weeks of the season. If somebody offered me 6-5 plus 0.4 units first 2 weeks of the season, I would take it. It's not easy. Rafa, my man, can we pop up Flash's record here on the show? Not bad.
Few bad beats. A couple just got absolutely wrong. Bungles become bungles again last week. And obviously, I went for an over. I went for an under, and it just blew me out. I mean, the Steelers and the Seahawks, they went bonkers, didn't they?
A lot of late scoring. I mean, it was one of those games like we had the week before where it's 0-0 after the first quarter, and you're like, oh, this is perfect. And then it falls apart late, which has been happening a lot. People liking you calling Freddie the Frog. They're liking that in the chat. Diesel Eugene says, I enjoy the chemistry between Freddie and Flash.
Yeah.
So,
well, he's Miami in this. He's a Dolphin. He is a Dolphin, and I'm a Patriot. So you know how low he is.
He's a fish. Well, and Freddie will be joining us now. He is fresh off another winner in Slovenian handball.
He's on fire with it. Where are these mad games coming from?
The guy, he studies and studies these small sports.
Yeah, but he was doing genital flicking volleyball with coconuts last week.
Yeah, they both. I didn't even know how to pronounce that sport, but I guess you use your genitalia.
No, that was Larry's mate, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Larry's mate. Yeah, it was Larry's mate. Okay. Steve Priest says, careful tailing some of these guys. Well cap at 38%. Steve Priest, it's early. It's early. And but we have, that's one of the things on the show, for better or for worse. It's honesty and transparency. So I hear you. Okay, let's get to work. So first off, do you have a play on tonight's Thursday nighter, the very, very dangerous Thursday nighter, Jaguars, Titans?
No. I mean, I'm. If you have a play, then I'm going to cheer that on. I mean, what do? I mean, I was looking. Corey Davis over 40 yards. I thought that was probably the way because we don't know how it's going to go. I thought the unders was probably an absolute moral. But my only play would be the Titans. I can't have the Titans ever. So I have to leave it alone. I can't have the Jags. So they're two bad sides.
They're two bad sides, but I'm a little higher. I'm a little higher on the. Sorry, some funny comments coming in. I'm a little higher on the Titans than you are, and I've been a little.
Yeah, you have. But they are like Larry and Freddie of the NFL world. They're not good. They're not worthy. They're Thursday nighters. They should play every Thursday night against each other.
Yeah, the Jags and Minshew are trash. I wonder if they show heart in this situation. We shall see. Well, let's start going over Flash's action. Let's take a look at it right now. The first game on your card comes to us in the Rams game here. Let me just pull it up right now and see what we are dealing with in this Ram spot. And so this Ram spot opened at -1. It got to 2.5. And you pounced. And sadly, I still could have got them at -2.5, but it was going to cost me -130. And instead, I took the +105. I took the +105 on the -3, which I'm not sure is the right move. But please break us down your first look on your NFL.
Oh,
card.
it's Rams. I mean, that's the first one that jumped out the page. And sometimes when you're looking at it, and there's another one I'll go to later, but I looked at it and I thought, LA Rams, 2.5. Yep, I'm having that. Locked it in. Went to 3. I'm locking that one in as well. I've went back. I went back to the well.
Wow.
Yeah, I went -3, -105. So I'm happy to give up them points against the Browns. I really am. I think that they've not really done a lot. I think the Rams are going to be a proper playoff team. And in this spot, I think they'll have too much firepower, and I think they get to Mayfield as much as they want.
Browns are still riding the hype, and it's just they're The Rams are simply a better football team.
Yeah, exactly.
I said plus
Yeah.
105. I actually got plus 101. Plus 101 on the Rams, -3. I'm with you. I'm with the Rams. I back this spot. That's the first look on the card. And then we go back to the fish. So you're going back to the well. You hit with the under in Patriots-Dolphins, and you're going back to the well with a Dolphins-Cowboys under 47.5. Break that down for us.
Exactly the same as last week. Copy and paste. New England. We said it. But New England are going to have to. How many points do you think Miami are going to get? Top whack last week was 9. So obviously we had to make sure England didn't get the 35. Well, Miami brought nothing to the table. New England done as they like. Week before we had the Ravens. So I'm going Miami Dallas 47 under 47.5. I'm thinking. Well, Dallas are not going to put on 35 again. I'm even giving Miami 12. No, under 47.5. Lock it in. Really pleased my first two. I think I've got off to a good start there.
I like that under. And I almost made a move on the Cowboys. I've done neither. I've done nothing. I'm a little concerned. So as the Patriots kept Brady in, kept the first unit in, I don't see that. I have a fear Garrett brings in the bums with the Cowboys, and that's the only concern in the fourth quarter. If he brings in all the second unit, and then we see what happens. That's my only concern. Shout out to Chad Costanza, says I took no touchdowns in tonight's game at 60-1.
I said 3-3, didn't I, earlier on in the back room?
That's an exciting bet, Chad. I will be definitely cheering on that. And Steve Priest says under is when they are a double-digit home dog, not an away dog. That's an interesting angle from Steve Priest. But you got it last week. Why not go back to the well? Let's take a look at your next spot on this NFL card here at sportsbookreview.com. Flash also in the $50,000 Pick 6 contest, and there's still time to jump in. When Flash is breaking down this next game, I'm going to put the link in because there's still time. You can get in the contest right now and still be eligible for all of the grand prizes and everything. If you wait one more week, you will not be eligible. So jump in now if you are not in. And here's a big spot I'm excited about. I'm on the under in this game, and I've been very concerned watching this total go up. Very concerned. And Whale Capper's on the under 41.5 at plus money. I got 42.5. Now there's 44 on the board and makes me extremely uncomfortable. Broncos, Packers. What's your look here?
Packers all the way, -8. Happy with Rodgers, even happy with a Green Bay D. I think that what they did and the way they stood up against the Bears, I think the Bears are going to prove to be half decent or above average. Denver, I don't see putting many points on the board. I see Green Bay going north of 28 to 30. So that means are Denver going to get into the 20s? I don't think so. So Green Bay, -8. Happy with my first 3.
Yeah, I get it. I get why you're back in Green Bay. I think it might be a touch too many points. It may not be. They may smash, but their offense has just been very pedestrian so far this year. Do they start getting more creative the more time LaFleur has? A definite possibility. Neither offense is impressed, and that's why I'm on the unders. I mean, that's why I'm hammering the under here. But I can understand that look. I definitely can understand that look. Packers -3 is the next spot on Flash's card, and we continue looking at it. He has beaten another market move with your next bet. Falcons, Colts.
Yeah, I went with Atlanta +2.5 against the Colts. I think that Atlanta are just going to get better. I mean, I like the way that they're using different receivers. I think the running game's going to be the one against the Colts. I really do. I think Freeman's going to have a really good weekend and getting points. I honestly was happy if I had to give the Colts 2.5. So getting 2.5, I'm all over the Falcons. What more can you say?
Well, you're not getting 2.5 anymore. So
you not?
You got to feel good about that. Right now, you get 1 at almost all the books. Almost all. Actually, there's still a few at 1.5. Bet365, you wager Intertops at 1.5.
And you said about the unders in one of the games where you and both Wildcapper have both gone in like 41 and 42, and it moves to 44. Do you not chase it? Do you not now go and think, well, if I was happy to bet it at 41, surely I'm happy to bet it at least another half unit at 44?
No, I start stroking a make-believe beard, and I get very, very uncomfortable.
You get nervous.
Yeah, I get nervous, and I think, okay, what am I not seeing?
It's better than stroking the cat, though, isn't it?
It's yeah, well, is that what you call it?
No. That's,
okay, I thought you were talking about something else.
I know what you think.
Okay, I think that the movement to the over, if it wasn't Pinnacle doing it,
Right.
I might be on that, but with Pinnacle doing it,
Are they the
we know how
magic
sharp-
sign?
I do think they're a very sharp book, and there's some people who believe in North American sports they aren't that sharp. So it's
Right, okay.
maybe it's something that was more before.
Pay
than
your
it
money,
is
take
now.
your chance, though, didn't you?
At this point, at 44, I want to hear what Whale Capper has to say. I want to see if Whale Capper is scared.
I think I think he'll probably go in again. He's the type of animal that if he makes a statement, I'm not putting words in his mouth, and I'm not saying he's done it, but if he makes a statement that I'm happy to go under 41, and the market moves to 44, he's the type of animal who's going to see he's got another 3 points in the bag.
Well, we shall see tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern on the Audible, because he's had a tough start to the year.
We all have, but I mean, we said first show, first 3 or 4 weeks, let it calm down. Now, 70% of these sides have all capitulated. They've either lost injuries, they've got players that want to leave, and they're all dogs. Steelers, bottom of the league. Bottom of their division. Who's going to win that one? Baltimore. We'll talk about the Ravens a little bit more, but remember, you could have had them at 4 to win that division, 16 to win the conference.
You were bang on with the Steelers.
It's early days.
Yeah, no, but you were so right on that. And
Did we mention about Ben not seeing the season out as well?
You said that, and that came to fruition
One of
very
them,
early.
just magic ball.
Stroking the cat.
Magic balls.
Yeah, no, I get it. All right, let's move on to 2 more unders to finish off Flash's
I like
card.
these unders.
And he's going back to the Patriots underwell, and I like this look. You got it at 45.5 at -110. If you want it now, 43.5. Here's another perfect example of why I jumped in on Tuesday. Enough pussyfooting around. Let's beat these market moves and not have paralysis by overanalysis, which is exactly what you've done here. Jets, New England, under 45.5. Talk me through it.
Yeah, it jumped out. It absolutely jumped out. How many points are the Jets going to contribute here? And also, the Jets and New England, they sometimes stifle. They try and break it down. Obviously, they see each other so often, regularly give New England funny looks. So I've gone Jets, New England, under 45.5. Again, I look at it thinking, what's it going to be? 35.9, 35.10, 45.5. It jumped out. New England, they'll do what they do. They'll go out, kill the clock, be far too ahead, and just say, we'll see you next week. Simple.
If I could get a 45.5 now, I would probably take it.
Right.
I would probably take it. But at 43.5, I have a bit of hesitation. But I would probably...
Maybe we should have a Monday breakfast club where we should press a few buttons. Because, I just look at these and they go wallop. Now, obviously, I still want to talk about one I've not got on here that did go wallop, and it goes against the trend.
Yeah, and Russell Gordy says not even looking at the Cowboys and Patriots games. I mean, and that's something that I fall into too. When I see a 23 or a 24, I'm like, why am I?
But there's always an angle.
There always is an angle. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. No, I feel that. Let's talk about another under that I came very close to taking myself, and then I got cold feet. And now we see 48.5s and 49s. You jumped in at 48. Now, I also saw this go down to 47 at one point. Let's see. So not at Pinnacle. Let's see if Bet Online did that. Bet Online. No, so I don't know where I thought I saw a 47. There we go. There's Bookmaker. Bookmaker dropped it down to 47.5. Now this is back to 48.5. Talk me through this. Texans, Chargers.
Well, first of all, Chargers and Texans are not really going to be like shooting the lights out, to be honest. I think the Texans would be my favourites in this. I think the Chargers find a way to get themselves beat. I think they're banged up. They've missed me 2 field goals last week. So there's a little bit of angry flash in there because obviously I gave up the 2.5 against the Lions last week. We missed 2 chip field goals and still only 3 points down. And instead of going for the field goal, we go to try and win it. I just can't understand some of the play calling. So for me, Houston Chargers, under 48. Again, I'd be happy under 44, under 45 in that game.
Wow. And so the market moved towards the over, no fear.
None. Well, no, not at all. No, absolutely none.
Yeah, this Chargers defense is different without Derwin, although we just saw the Lions take no advantage of it. And then the Texans offense that we thought, man, look at them in that dome. Look how good they are. Then they go back home and do nothing against a stout.
The Saints looked like they were half cooked in that game, though, didn't they? Do you not think?
Well, I was
so high
on the Texans in that game against the Saints, and then I liked them again, but I didn't take them on the big spread. But I thought the Texans were still going to be able to put up points. And then when I saw the Saints doing whatever they pleased against the Texans defense, I took the over in that game, and that was a terrible loss. Just an ugly, ugly, ugly loss I had last week. Jay Peach says Chargers roll my Texans. We'll have 25 plus points at the half. River owns us. Write it down, Jim.
Write it down.
That's how serious
Write
it
it
is.
down. Well, so he thinks they're going to put on 25 points in the first half?
Yeah.
Is he sniffing something? Is he sniffing the glue?
You know, Jay Peach is a great capper. He also came up with a term in talking about bad football teams. He calls them open ass.
Open ass.
Yeah.
Nice. I want to talk about the Ravens and the Chiefs. Because that was the biggest one that jumped out at me. Money line, plus 250. Ravens. Thinking, I know I've got Ravens, I know that I've got the Chiefs, and I know they're going to be there right at the very end, the AFC. Too big, 7.5, 7, not press no buttons. I've got half of my people on the Chiefs, but I'm just thinking, in this spot, I love defense getting points. And I think that Baltimore are going to shake up Mahomes. I really do. And plus 250, I could be sitting there. We'll be together, won't we, on Sunday?
We will be.
Holding hands.
Yes.
And you're on the Chiefs.
I'm on the Chiefs, and money keeps coming in on Baltimore. Oh. And I made the Chiefs my 2-unit play. There's now 5.5s on the board.
Honestly, you've got to take the points when the defenses are like this. I think they'll get through, and they'll get Mahomes, and they will shake him up. And I think that this is definitely right down to the wire type game, and they will trade lower than the plus 250. And whoever got the 7, was there any bits over 7? Was there 7.5 anywhere? Because I think they need a resting because they have stole the joint.
This is an interesting game because we have Flash on the Ravens. We have Whale Capper on the Ravens. We have Steve Priest on the Ravens. Russell Gordy getting up at 7.5 on the Ravens. I think the Chiefs smash.
I'm not betting. I'm going to say that. I'm not. I'm going to be I know I've got my opinion on it, and obviously I've got the Ravens long term, but I'm just going to have to watch and know that these two teams are going to be at the forefront of my picks most weeks.
I'm not in on the Ravens, and I haven't been. And Whale Capper got higher and higher and higher on the Ravens. And it's not just this game against the Cardinals that they were clearly looking ahead to the Chiefs and they didn't respect the Cardinals. It's not that. It's just that I do not trust Lamar Jackson when it comes down to it. We already saw the blueprint and how to stop these guys. The Chargers gave us that blueprint. And I know that Reed can put together a defense, even with what he has at his disposal, which is not much. I do think he can put together a defense to slow down Lamar. They're going to be running a lot. They're going to try to keep the ball away from Mahomes, and then they're going to get too conservative. And you can't get too conservative. We saw what the Patriots did to beat the Chiefs. You have to go score for score, and they can't do it. But this market move does concern me. But I think they smash. I think we have Farshed like in the Ravens. We have Bookie Lover Q like in the Ravens.
It's a great game to watch. Honestly, this is the type of spectacle where I can sit down with my feet up, and I'm not going to get no delight in being right because I know that you're on. So I will be cheering for your pocket. Well, that's it.
I will be drinking heavily. I'm not sure if we'll be holding hands. Hard to pet the cat when we're.
No, I'm all right. I'm all right now, but I'm over it. I'm over that. I'll get Freddie round. I'll let him shine me shoe.
Yeah, get it. Well, it's almost time. It's almost time.
Oh no.
Headshot says careful with Tyreek out. I'm not. No. Obviously Tyreek is uncoverable. I'm not. He's the toughest cover in the league. He's not necessarily the best wide receiver in the league, but he's the toughest cover. But there's weapons with the Chiefs, and it's not just Tyreek.
Yeah, you've got to stop it at the source. They've got to get through that front line, and they have got to get to Mahomes. Simple as that. But there again, we don't know how much Jackson's got in the bag, because he has been, at the moment, we can't grab him.
Yeah, we can. What is he going to be able to stay in the pocket and throw passes for the first time ever?
Is he going to be allowed to?
Well, if he goes outside the pocket, we know that Harbaugh's telling him, please don't do that. No. This is a long season.
Yeah, well, we know that, but we also know how dangerous he is. If he does get out of the pocket on a broken play, that he could take it home.
Yes, yeah, sure. I mean, there's a honey badger.
So we got both of them. We got two of the up and coming lights in our sport, right? And I say our sport because we love it. These two could be like your Breeze and your Brady, your Rodgers and your Brady over the next 7 or 8 years.
No, I don't think so. I think
You don't like Jackson, do you?
No, I look. It's not Jackson. It's just that you've got to do what Deshaun Watson does and stay in the pocket and make throws before I think that you're going to be an elite quarterback in this league.
Well, I think they've both got the potential to be. So let's not crab them. Let's cheer them on.
No, I'm gonna
needs them. The sport needs them.
No, I'm gonna be fucking all over. I need the Chiefs
You're
here. I
just
need it badly. I need it badly.
Your pocket is screaming.
I'm having a bad
Jackson, kill him.
That's right.
Get him.
I'll be screaming, get him! Get him!
Yeah, the dogs will be like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the dogs. All right, there it is. Let's now throw up, Rafa. Flashes action. Here we go. 6-5 right now on the show.
Doing it, then worry ya. Do
Yeah.
you think which one's going to let me down? If I get 5-1, which one lets me down?
Which one lets you down? That's a.
I
I would say the Packers
Because I
at
knew you were
-8
gonna
would
say
be the
Packers.
most vulnerable. I'm watching this market move with this Houston Chargers. I love your look on the 45.5 with the Jets, New England. I like your look getting the Rams at -2.5. I am a little uncomfortable with the Miami Dallas under 47.5 just because.
No.
But what happens if we're watching the game on Sunday and Garrett pulls all the first stringers?
Well, Miami. You see, Miami couldn't be. Who was it in preseason? The Jags, third team.
Fitzpatrick's going to throw the ball all over the place, you know.
Well,
Gonna
it'd be
throw all-
interception city, wouldn't it?
We'll see. We shall see. We shall see. But it's a good-looking card, and you're up 0.4 units at this point in the year, and it's a tough first couple weeks. So you've done great job. Let's keep rolling. Fail to Life says Flash was a professional soccer player, played in the EPL. His knowledge of NFL is hella impressive. Getting love from the chat right here. Getting love from the chat in SBR Forum saying that we are a great team. Thank you for that. Thank you for the love, and thank you for joining us. And it is now time for us to bring in our UFC expert.
UFC
Nice. Expert.
He had a good time with it last week.
Yeah, and America's been on a nice little roll right now. Please welcome to the show representing Phoenix, Arizona by way of Minnesota. Please welcome our UFC expert and Americ star of the Die Hard MMA podcast. And Americ, how you doing today, my man?
Hey.
I'm doing great, Jimmy. How are you?
Good.
What's up,
I'm
Flash?
good.
Yeah, nice.
I'm good. You've been on a roll lately. How'd last week go for you?
Last week went great, Jimmy. The people in the chat got to follow me over on Twitter, though. We hit a +225 dog that I didn't give out on the show. Decided to pull that trigger late, and he came through for us. It was a damn good week.
What's all that about? Pulling triggers late. We had Gagey in the first round knockout, though, didn't we?
Hey, that's the one that you had. I was on Cerrone, and that was a bad bet. I will fully admit that one.
Yeah, it's 1-1 then.
1-1, yeah. No, Gagey first round knockout was an impressive
Yeah,
look.
he can have the next 5.
Set the stage for us. Where are we this weekend, Americ?
Jimmy, we are headed off to Mexico City. Fun facts about Mexico City. It is over 7,300 feet above sea level. Mexico City is constantly sinking. Over the last 100 years, it's actually sunk about 9 meters. And it's also known as the City of Hope. And I love that because that gives me hope that we're going to make some money this weekend.
You know, I also have a soft spot for Mexico City because my bookie got robbed in Mexico City.
Did he? And you had to pay him? Did you pay him? Did he rob you your money?
We just all left.
Did you?
Just all left. We just all left.
It's not nice. That's bad karma for me, that.
Yeah.
Bad karma.
Well, I felt that karma. But yes, I laughed. I was pretty pleased when he got robbed in Mexico City.
Is he no longer your bookie?
No, he still is.
Still is.
Okay, let's get to work right now. Let's start breaking down his looks. You got a spot on the card you're going to ask him about?
Yeah, well, we're going to start with Yair Rodriguez and Jeremy Stevens. A look at this one. I've got obviously my boys on over at Odds Market. 100% does not go to distance. Do you agree?
Ooh, that's an interesting look. That's actually an angle I had not considered on this fight. I don't know that I like that spot necessarily because Yair's whole game is stick and move. His last fight against the Korean zombie Chan Sung Jung, he got the knockout in the last single second of the fight. Quite literally the last second of a 5-round, 25-minute brawl. And if it wasn't for Korean Zombie going for broke in the last 15 seconds, he would never have landed that KO punch and gotten out of there. There's a decent chance this fight goes to decision. I personally like Jeremy Stevens, and I feel like Jeremy Stevens is capable of knocking Yair Rodriguez out. So I don't hate that it doesn't go the distance because I'm banking on the guy with the KO power here. But I personally wouldn't take that the fight doesn't go to decision. I think there's a decent chance it does.
Fair enough.
So that's the Jeremy Stevens Yair Rodriguez bout.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Kyle Nelson, Marco Polo Reyes. Kyle Nelson, Marco Polo Reyes. Nelson opening up at -101. He's now -116. A 15-cent move towards Kyle Nelson. Do you agree with that market move? Are you backing Kyle Nelson?
Jimmy, I am on that market move. I completely agree with this one. Kyle Nelson is an absolute beast. He came into the UFC and he hasn't had a great run so far. He's had some brief, shiny moments against some really tough competitors, but he hasn't quite been able to get that win. He knows his back's against the wall here. He's coming in phenomenal shape. And even though there have been some questions about his cardio, he's been working out at the UFC's Performance Center, so they should have patched that hole. He's also gone out to Mexico City early, so we shouldn't have to worry about that elevation. That's something that we have to keep in mind for this fight card, is people with cardio problems and people with cardio issues, or the fact that they don't travel out to Mexico City early, are going to be at a massive disadvantage because there's no altitude like Mexico City. The only thing here, I'm not worried about the cardio for the monster, because he's going to get this thing done in the first round. Polo Reyes is absolutely broken. His chin has been cracked. He's been knocked out cold in 3 of his last 4 fights, and he's a banger. He has no ground game. So Kyle Nelson takes him down, he wins. If Kyle Nelson stands and bangs with him, he's going to be the younger, fresher, more durable fighter, and I think he wins there too. Either way, I've got Kyle Nelson.
Well, that puts a massive pin in my balloon, because I had Kyle Nelson, gas tank, question mark, question mark, question mark, at altitude. I'm now thinking, fling it up. I don't know where to go with this fight now, because I thought Polo Reyes was a massive, massive price at +105, and now Kyle Nelson has come in as the winner.
I'm worried sick about your balloon. Has it been...
I mean, that's why I only come in here just to get it... That's what you do.
Oh,
I feel as if I might be bullied in my selections and that.
Actually, that sound reminds me of something.
One more thing I can let you know on Polo Reyes. This is his first fight down at 145. He's been a 155er his entire career, and now he's cutting down an extra 10 pounds. His last knockout was 3 months ago. He has not taken the amount of time he needs to recover from a brutal knockout that way, and he's cutting 10 extra pounds of water weight. His chin is basically broken already, and he's going to have no water up here to protect that brain. It's only going to take 1 or 2 good shots from Nelson to put him out.
Wow, sounds like Kyle Nelson is a strong favourite. Let's move on. Askarov, Brandon Moreno. Askarov, 10-0, already nicknamed the Bullet. Is he the real deal?
So here's the thing. We don't know whether or not he's the real deal. He is coming over from Russia, and he appears to have all the tools. But I haven't seen him against a UFC caliber foe yet. And the UFC has matched him up with a guy who is going to play his game and plays it very well, in my opinion. Askarov is a scrambly Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner, and that's really how he wins his fights. All of them have come by submission except for one. I think he's 10-0 with 9 wins by submission. Brandon Moreno is one of the best scrambling grapplers in the UFC. The thing is here, he has a Brazilian jiu-jitsu advantage. I believe Askarov was just promoted to purple belt right before he came out for this fight, in fact, per his Instagram. And our boy Moreno is actually a Brazilian jiu-jitsu brown belt. So he's had higher level of experience. He's got a higher belt rank. And honestly, I think he's better on the feet. Plus, anybody who has beaten Brandon Moreno has been a crisp, technical striker. Anybody who engages him in the ground game gets choked out. And that's exactly what Askarov is going to do. I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to take the big plus 150 dog here on Moreno, trust the UFC caliber prospect, and also the fact that since this guy's going to volunteer to jump on into the guard and grapple with him, that's the game plan. That's how Moreno wins.
Yeah, I like the fact that Askarov is 10-0. He's still young. He's new. The sport needs another star to come along, and he's already favourite. That's massive.
Yeah, it's a spot, but I like that our guy Animeric jumping over the big plus line. Let's move on to the Grasso Esparza fight. We have Alexa Grasso opening at -147, a 19-cent move towards Carla Esparza. Carla Esparza going from +130 to +114. Animeric, Grasso Esparza.
You know, Jimmy, if I can bounce back to the last fight 1 quick second, I wanted to jump in. One more thing on Askarov. you've got to remember he's traveling all the way over from Russia to Mexico. So he's going to be massively jet lagged. And then you have to factor in the elevation on top of that. Brandon Moreno is a Mexican fighter. He trains out of Mexico. I think he'll have a cardio advantage. Now we can jump on over to Alexa Grasso and the Cookie Monster. I don't agree with that line move. I feel like maybe the line got a little bit wide, so that's probably some sharp money coming back and saying, we got some extra dog money here on a heavy grappling style fighter, which normally I would favor in this kind of a case. But Alexa Grasso is just the younger, better fighter, in my opinion. She's explosive. She's got heavy hands. Cookie Monster, even though I'm a fan of Carla Esparza, she has seen better days. She's not improving in the areas where she needs to. And these days, there's a huge movement in MMA judging. If you take somebody down and you just hold them there, you don't deal any damage, that just doesn't score well anymore. You used to be able to blanket opponents and walk away with an easy decision. These days, as we saw last week with Uriah Hall, if you land some decent damage on the feet and your opponent takes you down and does nothing there, they will still score that round for you. Alexa Grasso is going to be the younger, hungrier, more durable woman in this fight. She's also the hometown fighter. And I think if she lands a couple of good shots in and then she gets taken down once or twice, it's not going to be enough. I'm on Alexa Grasso.
Would you go Alexa Grasso to do it within the dedicated time?
I don't think I would take Alexa Grasso inside the distance. Esparza has proven to be relatively durable, even though she does get a lot of cuts. She gets a lot of facial swelling. She doesn't wear damage very well. She also never really stops. I don't think that Alexa Grasso can submit her. I do give Carla Esparza the ground advantage. I would more lean Grasso by decision.
Wow. Yeah, it's been heavyweight. It's like 1-4 in it.
You know, when the females fight, I don't really know what's happening. I get aroused and I do.
You like it?
I do.
You put it on pause.
Yeah.
You pause it.
Oh, I put it in slow mo. It's on slow mo.
Maybe we should get a couple round on just on Sunday night.
You know what? If you can find a female that wants to fight me, maybe that's the
Fight you?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. You want to get involved?
Yeah.
Cool. That's pay-per-view stuff.
Yeah, man. We have another fight on this card we want to ask America about. You want to drop it on us?
Yeah, is it Moreno?
Yeah.
Paul Craig, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've not really covered this fight, America, so can you educate me?
Flash, this was a late choice for me to jump on Paul the Bear Jew Craig. I have bet him twice in the past, and we've gone 1-1, but he was a massive, massive underdog in both of those fights. I was getting around plus 250 on him. That's where I like to play Paul Craig. He's a finisher. He's dangerous. He doesn't make the best choices. He doesn't have the best fight IQ. And this is a fight where he was lined about minus 110. It was a pick'em price. I wasn't going to touch him at that kind of a pick'em price. He's fighting an opponent who is very, very similar to him. They both prefer to fight on the ground. But then I saw an interview, and I found out that his opponent, Vinicius Moreira, he just got out to Mexico City yesterday. This is a big, lumbering guy who doesn't make it out of the first round. Whether he wins or loses, the fight does not get out of the first round. Paul Craig has gone to the second and third round repeatedly in UFC fights. Even if he loses, he has no problem getting to those later rounds. Moreira is going to gas out. Paul Craig went out to Mexico City early. I capped them about evenly in their skill sets, with Paul Craig having a slight advantage on the feet. So as soon as this line tipped over to plus money, finding out that Moreira went out to Mexico City late, I've got to take that plus 105 shot on Craig.
So if we look at the card, and there's a lot of short prices in there, are you going to stick them together?
I tend to do a lottery ticket parlay. There's always one or two that I throw in there. It doesn't hurt to throw $5 on 4 or 5 picks and try and hit a score, but I don't tend to do large parlays like that. Besides just the one, it's always a little sprinkle.
Who would be your best two?
My favorite 2 picks on the card?
Yeah.
Ooh. I think so. Actually, I've got a parlay, Jimmy. I don't know. Have we gone on to that? Because I think my favorite 2 picks would be in the parlay.
Have I jumped the gun here? Have I jumped the gun?
Let's do it. What is your parlay, America?
Well, Claudio is a very, very talented young fighter who is 1-1 in the UFC, and he's got a sick, wicked submission game. His stand-up leaves something wanting, and he's fighting a fighter who does not belong in the UFC. The guy that he's fighting, honestly, I can't even remember the guy's name off the top of my head right now. I apologize. But he is one of Anderson Silva's training partners. He's basically a stand-up only guy. He's tall, skinny. He's got these little chicken legs, and he cannot stop a takedown to save his life. Once he gets on the ground, he has no defensive abilities, and he gets submitted every single time. He gives up mount. People have no problem passing his guard, and that is a problem. This is a setup fight for the UFC. They want Claudio to succeed, and I think he's going to get a first-round submission. Even though he doesn't have great stand-up, the kid knows how to get a takedown, and once it's on the mat, that's his world. And I don't think it's going to take him long to get this guy down because of how long and skinny his opponent's legs are. The second fight for my parlay is Sijara Eubanks. She's taking on Betch Correia, and Betch Correia is on a phenomenal 1-4-1 streak in her last 6 since she got to Ronda Rousey back in 2015. She hasn't done a damn thing. She has a draw on her record that should also be a loss. Basically, this girl's got no UFC level skills. She's strong, she's tough, she's durable. That's about it. She lumbers forward, and she's got some power in her punches, but you can see them coming a mile away. She has no ground game to speak of whatsoever. Sijara Eubanks, on the other hand, is coming up to 135 from 125. She couldn't make that cut to 125 anymore, and she's big for 135. She made her debut against Aspen Ladd, who's one of the UFC's fastest rising stars in the women's division, and she lost a close decision to her. That's not that big of a mark on her because everybody's high on Aspen Ladd right now. She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Eubanks is, that is. And even though she is better on the ground than she is on the feet, she's got heavy hands and she is working on her striking ability. I think she's going to be better essentially everywhere. And since Betch Correia has no ability to stop a takedown and no ability to survive and get back to her feet if it hits the ground, the black belt Eubanks, I think, is going to sub her out. If you were looking for a women's fight to get finished within the distance, I think Sarge finishes Betch Correia. That's my parlay. You can get it just under even money. I think minus 112 right now. I got it a little earlier in the week at about minus 106, and that's a 2-unit banger for me, Jimmy. I think those two fighters are people who are being set up to win, and we want to be on the same side as the UFC in those spots.
I like it. Anna Merrick. There's his parlay. Claudio to Eubanks getting about minus 106 on that parlay. And then a Nelson minus 115. Moreno a plus 150. Grasso minus 117. And Stevens minus 110. And Paul Craig at plus 105. Anna Merrick, we love having you on this show. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us where we can find you on Twitter. And tell us a little bit about the Die Hard MMA podcast.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at MaximusIn3D is my personal handle, where I'm a nerd and I get into all my nerdy stuff. If you want just my betting content, I'm at Die Hard MMA Pod. The Die Hard MMA podcast drops Tuesday nights, and we break down every single UFC card top to bottom. I go in a lot more depth on these fights. We give out all my picks and opinions, and I am up over 28 units. We are digging out of the hole I created for myself a couple weeks ago. We're on a 2-event winning streak, and I'm hoping to keep that rolling this weekend. Come hang out with me, comment at me. I like to live tweet during all the fights and do shots of Fireball.
There he is, Anna Merrick in the house, joining us every Thursday here on Betting with the Bag. Anna Merrick, thanks so much for joining us, my guy.
Thanks for having me, guys. I always love coming on, and as far as I'm aware, I'm still king of the hill over here when it comes to MMA.
Keep shining them medals. They look a bit shinier than they were last week.
I had to make sure my wife got up there and, polished them, get all the dust off, make sure they look good and nice for you guys.
You've got to get yourself a little Freddy the Frog like me. He does it all at home. He shines everything.
I love it. There he is, Anna Merrick. Okay, I'm making the move. We'll see here tomorrow morning if I end up regretting this. But I am taking the Tennessee Titans on the money line here. I'm getting money's coming in on the Titans. Damn, no more minus 120s. I'm getting a minus 125 at Pinnacle. It's minus 125 at Pinnacle 5 times. Inner Tops, Bet365, Will Hill. Maybe this is the exact kind of square play that I'll be embarrassed about getting here tomorrow. But I just don't see how Minshew and this mess of a Jaguars team beats the Titans here. And if Jay Peach thinks that his Texans are as bad as they are, then we shouldn't take too much of the Jags, keeping it close with the Texans. I'm on the Titans minus 125 money line, locking that in. Before we bring in Freddie the Frog, we have a question from Pigeon Depot. He says, Jimmy, can you ask Flash if he grew up around pigeon racing?
No, I know all about pigeon racing. There was a lot of people who did, and obviously I spent 7 years in Yorkshire where it is red hot. I mean, the flat caps, whippets, pigeons. Yeah, I've never got involved with it myself. Too much mess.
Yeah. There you go, Pigeon Depot. There you go. Michael S. says, Jimmy, hoping for a 30-19 Titans win for you. Thank you, Michael S. Also, I'm not going to bet $200 on the Titans, though. On this, I'm gonna drop it down to 150. I got 200 on the team total under. I'm not gonna make it a full unit bet on the money line. Make it a 3/4 of a unit bet on the money line. Okay, let's now bring in the very our beloved Freddie Fortune. Do you want to introduce Freddie Fortune for us?
Freddie! Entree! Put me shoes down. You can finish off cleaning them when I'm done. There he comes.
Welcome, Freddie.
Bit of insubordination that's not gone amiss.
Freddie, what's happening, man?
Hey, Jimmy.
I've worked him hard today.
How are you?
I'm good.
I miss you, Jimmy. The bag.
Thank you.
How have you been? How's the show?
Show's been good.
That's great, Jimmy. You know, everything seems fine here.
He will be disciplined, I promise. This sort of
yeah.
behaviour will not be tolerated.
Oh, my mic.
Have you been messing about with them calendars again?
I'm so sorry.
It looks like Mr. April.
Do I look good on the screen, Jimmy?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I look
Do
fine,
you allow
right?
this?
Oh, Jesus.
Do you like my new pose?
So you've been on a winning streak.
Yeah, I'm 5-0 now.
Well,
Between Sepak Takraw, Kabaddi, and now I'm
Kabaddi.
with futsal.
futsal. You're
Yeah,
focused
you know,
on.
soccer. There's a capper here at SBR that likes to cap soccer, and I fucking despise him. So I got you some futsal, the real sport of men and women, like every single generation in my mother's family.
I've had most of them.
They're all futsal stars.
Yeah, they're
They're
all
just
futsal
stars.
stars. Yes,
We've seen the videos.
they're not Russian like my play,
No?
but they are all Russian. I mean futsal stars.
So
Yeah.
you're going to focus on futsal today.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
And can you explain futsal to the audience that may not know what futsal is?
Okay, futsal is like just a second. Futsal is like soccer but with a smaller ball and like inside a gymnasium. It's 5 versus 5. It's pretty fun. I've played it before.
And your mom and
My
your mom's
mother
mom.
is the best player in Central America,
And
Not
your,
a futsal.
in Costa Rica specifically.
in Costa Rica specifically.
Yes.
Local.
Yeah.
I love being friends with you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can see your relationship's getting stronger.
This is so much fun. This is so much fun. Yeah, my play is Russian. I mean, I tried Peruvian and Brazilian futsal, but they're...
Steve Priest says Freddie has no bulge. What do you think he's talking about?
He may be talking about my penis.
Yeah.
I think so, but I don't care what people in the chat say. I just love our friendship.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go. What's your futsal action?
It's Volga Saratov minus a half versus Delta Astrakhan. I know these names are very funny. At minus 110 at Bet365. The play is for tomorrow, so put your bets now.
That's exciting. A little
Yeah.
futsal action there. Who needs Thursday night football when you got futsal?
Yeah, I mean, this team is like a super favorite to win, but I still like this.
And what are the?
Ladies,
Can you
right?
repeat your bet one more time?
Yeah, it's Volga Saratov minus a half over Delta Astrakhan at minus 110.
Oh, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
That's really exciting.
He's loving that look, isn't he?
I know.
That's for
Jimmy.
you, Jimmy. That look. That's for you. You're gonna have to. You can borrow him at weekends if you want.
Who's talking?
Okay, well, why don't you stay there in that pose? I added Titans minus 125 money line. We'll see if that ends up hurting me. I'm already on the team total under 19.5 in the Jaguars game. I'm in the over in the Houston-Tulane game at 55.5. And then in baseball editions. It looks like we're going to cash this Brewers -1. That is looking good. 5-1 right now in the bottom of the 7th. That Yankees-Angels game has already started, and I didn't bet the over. God damn, I forgot it was an early start. Shit. I gave that out on the show, so it is an official play, but I have not bet
Don't
it.
be so hard on yourself.
Thank you, Freddie.
You're great.
Oh, thank you.
Unlike someone else.
I'm on the Orioles team total over 4.5 -125. And the next edition I have on this card is the first 5 under 4 -120 in Cardinals at Cubs. Thank you guys so much for watching.
What's going on? You're so happy to see me, right?
I am really happy to see you. Let's get after it. Let's have a big day. Thank you to our guests,
Freddie Fortune!
Flash.
Freddie Fortune! Yeah.
Thank you,
Freddie.
for Anna Merrick being here as well.
Yeah.
Let's get after it. Let's have a big day.
Let's bookmakers!
No! Leche, a los bookmakers.